Welcome to CyberCEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. CyberCEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. All right, another awesome day here, Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of CyberCEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show right now. She's the co-host of 𝗙𝗻𝗋𝗙𝗶. Jennifer, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you very much for asking. And of course, being on the show today. I know you're very busy. So to start things off, aside from, of course, being the co-host of 𝗙𝗻𝗋𝗙𝗶, what else do you do in the business, Jennifer?
Well, I'm a licensed real estate agent in Ohio and Kentucky, and we just got our first partner in Portugal, so we can work there as well. Yeah, we're excited about that.
Very exciting in Portugal. So, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been in the business?
I've been in the business for about 13 years. I started off as an investor and a wholesaler, and then got my real estate license about 11 years ago.
Wow. So 13 years in the business. Let me ask, within that span of time, did you ever experience working with someone virtually or in any kind?
Yeah, I have a few times. I would say that I've attempted to do it because I understand the concept of a virtual assistant. And for me, I understand math and numbers. So the math of it makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah. So, it's like hiring anybody. It's finding that right person. I've run into some issues, but now with Cyberbacker, we've been working with Frances, our Cyberbacker, and she's amazing. The things that Cyberbacker does on the front end to ensure that it's a good match and that there's good people that understand, I would say understand Americans. I don't know if that's gonna but it's definitely been the best experience I've ever had.
So that's actually one of the goals of our career team. They're the department that really manages that partners you with, of course, the best cyberbackers that we have. Of course, every time we try to make it right the first time, every time. So Frances,
no, I think and I think too, for me, when I've traveled a lot and I've traveled throughout Asia too, and I stayed in Asia for about 4 months, and there's a very big cultural difference between Americans and the Asian culture. And so especially American entrepreneurs, a lot of us are high I's, high D's. We are not good with detail. And it doesn't translate well often when you're dealing with a virtual assistant, especially if they are a different culture than you. So that was one of the areas that I ran into with a couple of the other companies I tried. It was I was not able to give clear enough direction. And we actually, Monica and I did a 𝗙𝗻𝗋𝗙𝗶 podcast on Should You Get a VA? And I was absolutely not. But then I had to eat my words because we did an update episode recently. And I was that one I was actually wrong.
So really, there is really a match if you think about it, right? Just finding that right person though, right?
It is. It's about finding the right person. It's about also, that's the number one key. And then as a business owner, I'm a little bit clearer on what I want, but also having that person that can bring their own thoughts to it and say, hey, I've worked with other people and this is what they do and it works out well. A lot of things that Frances says, hey, why don't we do it like this? And she has process improvements because I'm not a process person. I'm a salesperson. And she has process improvements. I'm oh, dang, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
So really, actually, the match is very, very important. Not just experience or things like that, but the values is very, very important as well, right?
Yeah, the match is critical because for me, she's the type of person that I'm open for process improvements. And she's the type of person that wants to make, she's so fast. Everything that she does, she's and it's done literally perfectly most of the time. It's amazing. The errors are minimal. And it's wow, that's so fast. And she's can I have some more? do you have more work for me to do? Why don't we try doing this? Have you tried this? And like just having that her as the type of person that she is to bring ideas to the table is huge. And it's not anything that I experienced with the other companies that I had tried. So I'm really happy.
So of course, this is a partnership. Your Cyberbackers right there to help you out and give suggestions as well, not just take on tasks for you, but helping and improving processes as well.
But that's something unique to Cyberbackers in my experience, because most the VA, and I've tried 3 other VA companies, and the other ones, it's very much like, tell me exactly what to do, from like turning on the computer to like what buttons do I press. But like with Frances, she'll just be like, hey, can you show me and let me record it? Because then she knows that like I'm not going to want to show her 18 times. She can watch the recording, she can try it, ask clarifying questions, and then she gets it. And it's like, oh wow, that was fast. Like, I don't know how many times she watched the recording, but like to me, she gets it in like 2 seconds.
Just as long as there's those videos in the library. I think that's a good suggestion for all of our business owners that are listening as well right now, because something that they can see, that's something that they can watch and check on every time, just for them to master each task as well. I think that is very, very important.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good idea when she started doing that, because I mean, even for me, like I'll forget, like I'll create this, like I said, I'm not a process person. I'm more salesy. So I get this like whole idea of what we're going to do, right? Like, oh, this would be so great. We could do this and this. And like, if I recorded it, then I would remember what I said and we could do the work. But she's like, yeah, so she records it and we have it in a shared library so she can like go back and look at it. And it's been great. And the time saving has been awesome. I love it.
A lot of time saved. Now, let me ask though, Frances, you've been working with her for how long now?
My co-host has been working with her for about a year. I've been working with her for a few months.
Oh, okay. So a few months. Let me ask then, what can you tell me about your Cyberbacker, Frances, personality-wise, things like that?
Oh, she's awesome. Like, I love her. She's so nice. Like, she's very pleasant, easy to get along with. Like, I like how she like thinks and is always like looking for ways to make it better. Like, not just like take what I say and do it, but like truly be like, make it better and fully understand what my goals are and what I'm trying to do.
So that's very important. Again, setting proper expectations on both sides for you to be able to be successful. That is another key aspect of this type of a virtual partnership.
Well, right? I think you're right, because we don't always, as agents, we don't always know like what we're actually asking, because we don't always do all of the tasks. Like for example, I know that I need to be posting on social media, right? But like, I don't really want to, or I don't want to know, and I don't want to like go into Canva and get like the color scheme and the branding guidelines and make the thing and like post it and blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know how much time that takes, but like, I know I don't want to do it.
Takes a lot of time. That's why
I know it does. Yeah.
Cyberbacker is perfect for that as well.
Yeah, no, she's been perfect for that. And I like how she'll like send me she sends me an end of day report every day. And it helps me understand like where her time is spent. I mean, we chat throughout the day though, on like if something comes up, or like if a change needs to be made, or if there's something she ran into that we didn't anticipate, or like whatever. So it's just like being able to communicate with her by phone, it's just been so easy.
Again, the communication piece in this type of a virtual partnership is, again, a key factor. Of course, imagine working with someone thousands and thousands of miles away, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. That's true. I think like though, in this world after like COVID, we're all getting used to that.
Yes.
And it's something that like I personally had to do when I was traveling, because I was still running our real estate business when I was in Japan and in Vietnam and in Morocco. I was still running it. So like I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'm more sensitive and understand the time differences a little bit better, but yeah, communication is key. And I think I'm glad you brought that up, because people need to understand, like, she's not asking me questions over and over and over again because she has the videos of what we're doing. She's asking like good clarifying questions, but I do have to take the time to answer her and be like, oh, I didn't know that. Let me look at something or whatever, right? And getting back to her is critical if I want the work done.
Because again, you have to treat this like a business investment, right? You have to give your time. You have to work on it as well for it to bloom and to blossom, right?
Yeah. Yes. Well, I consider her like part of our team, our Real Estate Fight Club team. So like she helps us on some of our personal postings and things like that, but she's really helping us like to get the podcast out there. I mean, this is stuff that I know that I need to be doing, but it's like, it just always falls by the wayside, right? Like when a client calls, you're like, oh, well, I'll do the post later. And like, you never get to it. And consistency is key. And I think that's how the virtual assistants are. That's what Francis does for us, is creating that consistency in the content to get the followers that we're looking for.
Yes, again, consistency, very important for our cyberbackers. Now, you mentioned earlier, what I'd like to know more of is, because you mentioned this early, she saved you a lot of time. How much time? There we go.
Well, I think it's like even exponentially greater than what I think, because like for me, you know how like if you're not good at a task, it's like really, really hard for you. It always like goes in my too hard pile, but then that like too hard pile also like takes time and weighs on your brain, right? So, I mean, she's saving me, my best guess is at least 20 hours a week because of not only just doing the work, but I know I have confidence that it will get done, that will get done correctly. So I can start thinking about generating leads and doing the other things that I'm actually good at. And she focuses on what she's good at.
Think again, what you mentioned there, the thinking time, that this is going to be done within the next few days, in the next week.
And it never gets done.
Yes, that's right. But now that you have Frances, she's doing all of those things just to make sure that nothing really falls through the cracks.
Yeah. And she's like so organized too. I'll be like, hey, because I'll forget about what we decided, right? Because I'm just off doing whatever. And I'm like, hey, what did we decide about how often we were going to like post this? And she like knows. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. Thank you for being organized.
Now, aside from social media, what I'd like to know more of is what else does she does for you and your business, of course?
Well, she does. So we do a lot of agent attraction. And so she does like a newsletter through 𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗹. So she does some 𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗹 work for us to make sure that the newsletter is being sent out, the content is there. She does some YouTube. It's mostly social media. She does some YouTube, but she works on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook on personal pages and on business pages. So we have our Real Estate Fight Club podcast for agents. And then we have our buyers and sellers for our real estate business. And then we also have like our personal stuff. So she works on like a lot. It's a lot. I can't keep it straight. I don't know how she keeps it straight, but she's a lot more organized than me.
So she's really everywhere then. Everywhere.
Yeah, she's everywhere. Yeah, for sure.
Now, what
I'm always looking to like grow and learn too, which is really nice. Because there's been like in the beginning, I was like, okay, are you ready to learn something new? Because I didn't want to like overwhelm her, but it just seemed like she was picking up really quickly. And I was like, are you ready to learn something new? And she's like, yeah, I'm ready. And then we just learned something new. It's awesome.
Someone who's very growth minded. I think that's something that is very rare to find nowadays. Someone who's very ready to grow every day with new tasks, ready to take on anything.
Well, and she's excited to help. Like I mean, we enjoy working together. Like I look forward to our calls. So we have like a weekly call set up. And I think that's really important for anybody that's on any team member that's on the team, is to at least weekly get a face-to-face and say, hey, what are we working on? Do we have any, like, is there anything that's not working? Or do we have new ideas? What do we need to focus on? Like any hiccups, anything, right? And just having that communication. And it's always like a really nice conversation. We get the business going and we're off to our day.
Yeah, just maybe daily, weekly check-ins, right?
Yeah, at least weekly. But then we do communicate throughout the week to implement what we decided we were going to do that week. But in case there's something that like gets hung up or a question or whatever. But at least weekly. At least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Now, regarding Frances's growth, we've been talking about that a while ago. What I'd like to know more of, what are some of the new things that you're planning to have her do in the future? Because again, her role could still grow.
I know. I keep like a list of like everything. So one of the things that I'm going to have her doing is like, on social media, the algorithms are always changing. And so I think it would be like good for her and good for us if she could dive like deep. So for example, one of the things we use is YouTube Buddy, which is like, have you heard of it? I'm
I
sure a
think
lot
I
of people.
have. I think.
Yeah, it like helps with making sure that your titles are correct, that you're using specific words like in the description for your videos and things like that. So she's been doing the thumbnails and stuff for videos, which have been great. And then we're going to move on to like the descriptions and the titles and just really understanding like what YouTube is picking up on so that our videos are getting watched by the right people.
Of course, that's very exciting. Again, more things for her to do, more opportunities for growth.
Exactly. Yeah. She has, I mean, once it's hard to express this until people can feel it, but like once you have the right fit with your Cyberbacker VA, all of a sudden your brain opens up and it's like, oh, I'm not good at this piece. They could do that. She could probably do that. Or like, I'm not good at whatever. And it's just like all these things, it like snowballs into like, hey, can you do all these 40 things for me, please? And they're like, sure.
You're just
No
willing to help every
problem.
time.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Now,
awesome.
Jennifer, my next question is a bit tough. I know you've been working
Sure.
with Francis, your cyberbacker, for a few months now. So,
Yep.
what have been some of the challenges that you've had working with Cyberbacker, if any?
Let me think about that. I mean, I think the challenges were more my mindset coming into it was like, I've tried this before. Theoretically, I know that it like quote unquote works,
Hmm.
but like it hasn't worked before. So I think that more the challenge was like being open for it to actually work.
Just
And it does.
giving it, let's say, a chance, another chance, not.
Another chance because
Yes.
after being burned, I mean, it's
Hmm.
hard.
Yes.
It's hard after you feel like you've been burned. But I knew that part of that burning was like I had some responsibility in that, right? And I was like, I just can't, I'm not a very like detailed person. Like I can be a little clearer, but I can't be like so super clear to be like press this button, press this button. It's just not in my makeup. And so like when even our first conversation, she was like, "Hey, can I record this?" I was like, "Oh my God." Like she gets me.
It was
Yes,
really the
please
match.
record it. Because I don't want to say it 18 times and I don't want to have to remember how to do it because I forget. That would be great.
Yes. So again, the video library right there.
Yeah,
Now, one last question for you, Jennifer. There
sure.
are a lot of business owners listening to us right now. They're also
Hmm.
having these struggles and they're thinking about having their own cyberbacker, but they
Yeah,
didn't quite make the jump yet. So what
yeah.
advice would you be able to give them when they're hiring their first cyberbacker?
Well, I think like for me, the hangups were are they going to be able to understand me? Like, are we going to understand each other not by the words, but also like, are they going to understand what I mean? Because what I say and what I mean are very different. Like, are they going to get it? That was a huge like thing for me. Is the time difference going to be like an issue? I was worried about that. I would say just try it. Whatever the thing is that you know you have to be doing that you're putting off. And for most real estate agents, this is going to be your social media posts, your daily social media posts. Just try Cyberbacker for that. And I guarantee you will like see the difference. And then it will start opening up everything that they can. I mean, everything that I'll probably end up having her do some of the like Excel spreadsheets and
Hmm.
stuff for us to run expenses because I know that she can do it and I know like I always put it off. So like everything that I put off or don't like to do, like
She's gonna
she
do
likes it.
it. Anything that he can do, of course, to help you out, they will do everything just to
Yep.
make sure that they will be able to help you.
Well, and I like too, one of the differences that
Hmm.
I've noticed in Cyberbacker compared to the other companies is that if she's unclear or not sure about something, she has like a trainer or a coach
Yes,
that
they're head
helps.
backers. Hmm.
That yeah. And so that has been awesome because there's been a couple of things that neither one of us knew. And she's like, well, let me ask, what do they call them?
Yes, they're head backers, somewhat of a trainers as well.
A trainer, yeah. Let me ask the trainer or whatever. And the trainer like knows. And I think just having that support is really it's good for her and it's good for me as a customer because then I know that she's getting the right answer and she's not like discovering it like I am, you know?
Yes, definitely. Because here in Cyberbacker, not like other companies, of course, some companies would just give you, hey, here's your person, work with
And
it,
that's
something
it.
like, and that's it. But
Yeah.
here in Cyberbacker, of course, we take care of the partnership. Once you get that person, they would also have their own support system,
Right.
their own team to back them up.
Which is really great because for me, like even though she's a part of our team, I've had a big team before of like administrative and salespeople, and I don't want to manage anybody. And so like this is nice that she's part of the team, but she's like it's a more ownership role rather than just like do what you're told. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes. Mhm.
and I don't have to like manage her. I don't have to like she's on time. It just she has a manager. It's not me.
Yes.
It's great.
Mhm. Yes, that's right. Of course, someone to make sure that they are there and performing up to what they
Yeah.
can.
Exactly. But yeah, I've been really, really happy. I would just encourage people to, I mean, what do you have to lose? You're not doing the thing anyway. So just
Yes.
let them try it and see, you will see results immediately. Like I guarantee it.
Right, perfect. One last thing. I know that Frances is listening to us right now. Would you want to
Hey,
give her a
Fran-
quick shout out? Any message you'd like
Yeah.
to share to her?
Everybody needs a Francis, just not mine. No. Hey, Francis.
All right, perfect. Jennifer, we are very excited to see where this partnership between you and your Cyberbacker would be in the next few months and the years to come. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.